Happy New Year, everyone. It is January 2nd, 2023, day after New Year's Day. I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. We are Student Loan Justice, the oldest, largest, first, and really only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. If you're new to the group, welcome. So tonight I want to do a year-end wrap-up for you all to talk about all that we accomplished, achieved, some obvious, some maybe not so obvious. And the not so obvious stuff is the most important stuff that you need to realize. So I guess, first of all, the biggest thing that I can maybe mention is the fact that our petition was the second largest in the United States this year, change.org/cancel student loans. If you don't know, that petition is what launched the entire public debate about canceling student loans by executive order. So that's good. I'm pleased about that. A lot happened this year, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'll do the highlights and the lowlights. So the lowlights, I'm gonna save the lowlights. Let's just talk about the highlights for a minute. Good news, bad news type of thing. So we were featured on all kinds of media this year. So we were on Fox News, I think 3 times, including like once or twice live. We were featured in the New York Times and Newsweek, in just all manner of media. That's just the tip of the iceberg. All kinds of stuff. Many NPR stations, etc. If you go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, you can see some of the more important media that we did. We published around 3 to 4 articles that evinced some very important information. But I guess more to the point, guys, we as a group, we finally got to the bottom of both parties. So this has been a nearly 20-year ordeal with us. And it was very important that we explore all avenues with both parties. And we were finally able, we can now say with authority, with provable authority. Proof is very important to me. I don't like to say things unless I can prove it. But we can say with authority, provably true, that both major political parties in this country, the Democrats and the Republicans, have betrayed us. They've betrayed us. This is pretty well known with the Republicans for quite some time, but you know, the Democrats, they kept dangling a carrot in front of us, and then for one reason or another, oh, this happened, that happened, we couldn't get justice for you. Oh, we're sorry, you know, and it was just maddening, I must say. If you're new to the group, I've been living and breathing this stuff since 2005 and before. So we were finally able to prove without a doubt that and I'm sorry to say this, if you're a Democrat, we are a firstly nonpartisan group. Whatever your political stripes are, very welcome on this group. But we have now been through 2 presidential first 2-year terms where the president, both on the Republican side and on the Democratic side, had control of the presidency, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. And this is all towards the end of, number 1, getting bankruptcy rates returned to all student loans. It lies at the core of everything, in case you didn't know that. It's true. Whether you would ever file for bankruptcy or never file, it doesn't matter. We've got to get that leverage back. But the second thing is student loan cancellation. The president should, I would say must, cancel not $10,000, not $20,000. They must cancel the federal student loan program. It is catastrophically failed. Anyways, we've been chasing the Democrats down, and they've just excuse after excuse. We couldn't say with authority that they screwed us. But ladies and gentlemen, last congressional session, the Democrats actually did screw us. They had control of the presidency. They had control of the House. They had control of the Senate. They had a great bipartisan bankruptcy bill that would have sailed through the Senate and the House and would have been signed by the president, if you're to believe their rhetoric. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats chose to let that bill die. And they had some lame excuse and this and that and the other thing. They thought that I don't know. I don't even want to talk about what happened last congressional session. This year, we were on the Democrats like stink on SHIT to get that bill out again. It was a bankruptcy bill, would have clawed back a token amount from the colleges, would have returned the leverage of bankruptcy to all student loan borrowers. That is the one biggest power, the primary power that we do not have. And as long as we don't have that leverage, whether you would ever or never file, we will never get anything good happening for us. The bad guys will do whatever they want. And this session, the Democrats walked away from us on bankruptcy. They are further away from pushing bankruptcy through. And by the way, they no longer control the House or the Senate. But even knowing that, they were in fact reluctant and in fact refused to reintroduce our bill. So that's very bad news, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the truth. And the truth, in my view, is always good, because you have to know who's on your side and who isn't on your side. Whatever that truth may be, it's very important and good that you know that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that, yeah, the Republicans are evil. They just are. They hate us as a party. But the Democrats are also evil, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it's almost worse when, the guy who says he's on your side betrays you. In fact, it is worse. Who am I kidding? It is worse. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have no party. When I say we, I mean the 43.4 million federal student loan borrowers out there in the country. We don't. Don't listen to all the happy talk that you hear coming from the Democrats. They are not on our side. When the time came for them to prove their fealty to us, they betrayed us, and they betrayed their fealty. They evinced their fealty to the colleges, to the Department of Education, to any number of snakes in and around Washington, D.C. that have foisted this unconstitutional loan scam upon us. It's true, and I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, but it is the truth. And the truth, as I said, is very important. So, we did so many other things this year. I almost don't know where to begin. Maybe some of the news that we broke. Most recently, we're in a media war too, if you haven't noticed. The propaganda is just so thick and fast and furious against us. 98 or 9% of all the media that you're going to read is designed, is injected into the zeitgeist by our opposition, by the people who want to keep this lending scam going. So, for example, the New York Times reported last week that since they've resumed repayments on student loans, 60% of the borrowers paid. That's absolutely, completely false. The fact of the matter is that 82%, so over 80% of federal student loan borrowers are not paying on their loans today. So the New York Times is like, 60% of the people who got bills, they say it was only 22 million people. Well, there's 43.4 million people, guys. And of the 60%, so of the 13.2 million people they claimed were paying, nearly half of that, 5.4 million people, were making $0 payments, i.e., they weren't paying. So that 60% paying is actually 80% not paying, 82% not paying. And if you don't count the kids who are in school, and to be fair, you probably shouldn't, it's still 78%. So nearly 80% of borrowers are not paying. So we broke that news. We broke many other research findings that are very important and that you will never see in the mainstream media. So if you go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, you can read some of the highlights for yourself. You can, also, you should go to our Medium channel and read some of our most recent articles. This is stuff that's never reported in the press, guys. And so you know, I wrote the very first book. Those of you who are new to the group, I actually am the first political activist in the United States on the topic of student loans, and I also wrote. Oh, where is it? I don't see it. I wrote the very first published book to be critical of the United States student loan program. So you can trust when I say things that are true. I don't make any claims that I cannot prove. And so I would just urge you to have a look at those headlines. And the numbers are amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I will sum up everything in maybe one word, one sentence. The federal student loan program is catastrophically failed. It's done, ladies and gentlemen. It's finished. As I said, over 82% or 82% of everyone is not paying. More than 78% of everyone who sort of should be paying is not paying. The lending system is failed, ladies and gentlemen, and no amount of breathless propaganda media that's injected into the zeitgeist can make that not true. So you're not going to, as some people say, the revolution will not be televised. Well, yeah, the truth about student loans apparently will not be reported. And that's sad, but it is what it is. And it's better to know that than to not know it. I hope you agree. The truth is always a good thing, in my opinion. Are just completely worthless to us, quite frankly. And this is the part where I have to hold my tongue, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got some news to break on this coming Sunday. We are embarking on a project that will change the entire game. And if things go well, then by the end, if things go well with this project, and I am cautiously optimistic, it kind of depends on how hard we fight, how hard everybody out there, meaning you especially. I'm cautiously optimistic that we can get this student loan problem finally solved by the end of the year. So I'm going to leave it there at that. I'm going to say no more other than to say that I will be doing an announcement on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I would urge you to make a point to be there for that announcement so that you can learn along with everybody else what we're doing. I think you'll be impressed. So that's it, guys. This coming year, we're going to need all hands on deck. I know a lot of people are very depressed right now and things look very bleak. Well, you're in the right place to actually fight, to actually solve the problem. We are the only group that I know of that's actually fighting this battle in the way that it must be fought. Shame on the other groups. These people are charlatans, and I'm sorry to have to say that, but every other major group that claims to be fighting for loan cancellation or whatever, they're just completely out to lunch. They're corrupted, and I'm sorry to say that. They're corrupted. We on this group are not corrupted, so at least we got that going for us, right? And to our credit, we do have over 1.5 million people in our little group, at least on paper. So that includes our petition signers and our email and our Facebook and our Twitter and our YouTube and all our other channels. So we have all the strength that we need to actually win this battle by the end of this year, ladies and gentlemen. But stay tuned. Get ready to get into this fight. It feels good to fight this fight. Don't be lazy. You're not better than us. So we have Harvard lawyers in our group, and they fight. Some of them are fighting very hard. But what we need are a significant percentage of our members helping us fight this year. That's always been true. So this new project that I'm talking about, I think it is going to change the game for us, guys. It's going to cast everything in a different light. But I will hold my tongue for now. And finally, only say, please donate if you can. It is especially critical right now at this time. And this has to do with the project, kind of. But we really, really, really need to raise around, I think the last I checked, about $600 this week. That's not a lot. That's like 12 people donating $50 or like 24 people donating $25. So if you could help with that, please help us get off to a good start this year. I think it will pay for itself. The investment will pay for itself many, 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 many times over. And maybe one last thing, and this is a very important, I don't know if you call it an accomplishment, but it's certainly to our credit. You know, the whole student loan cancellation thing would never have come about but for our petition. And I have to say that, and this is suspicious, but most of our most active members, in fact, the huge majority of our most active members this year got their loans canceled. So it's in the big picture, it's only a tiny fraction of all borrowers, like 2%, not even, but in our group, for some reason, something like 90% of our most active members got that email or that letter stating that their loans were canceled. So, and as I said, that to me is very suspicious, but we'll take it. I don't know. I'm very glad for everybody who was able to finally get this monkey off their back after however many years and decades in this fight. Good for you. I would urge you, please don't abandon this fight. Don't forget. Don't pull the ladder up behind you, as they say. If you met with that great good fortune this year, I hope that you will. I hope that you will stay in this fight in whatever way is appropriate. So I'm looking forward to this year. I hope you are too. Tell everyone you know about this group. And again, check us out this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. right here, wherever you may be watching this. Okay, guys, good luck. And God bless everyone.